Really? You're funny, Bob. You are funny sometimes. You know that? Come on. Hold on. Oh, it won't let me turn it on. No fair. No fair. I was gonna show you guys Bob. Pretty much barking and running around that Prue and Stella do. The cat is the guard dog out of everybody. I wanted to show you guys, but it won't let me flip the camera around and turn the flashlight on. Because it's dark in here, the big light gave out. If you're wondering why every time we do this at night, it's always dark and I don't have a light on anymore. The light gave out. I'm too lazy to take care of it. Are you gonna come over here or not? Alright, you be the guard kitty. Yeah, Oh, now you want to come over? Come on. Come on. Come on, bud. I really... I hate my mind. A lot. For as much as everybody wants to talk shit, like... You guys can never insult me enough to the point of where I've already insulted myself. It's why 99% of your crap never works on me. Like, I'm not lying about that. Like, you can sit there and say whatever you want in the comments. I personally didn't like the last couple of you call me an edgelord, and you guys are like trying to be derogatory. No. I can put up with savagery, but I will not put up with disrespect. I hate my mind a lot of the time because I might bring up in passing a lot of these ideas that I get, a lot of these concepts that scientists and a lot of other people work on, and I just like will sit there, take in all the knowledge on the subject and just like let my mind go crazy. And I hate my mind because my mind goes fucking nuts. It's weird. It works on such a logical level, but at the same time I have this creativity that I've never, well, can't say that. When I got depressed after she left, took the boys, everything else, my creativity was gone for a long time. I was not myself, but slowly after the last couple of years of actually putting in the hard work, like, that creativity's back. Like, my mind just pops off with stuff too, and it's so weird how I can have this like far out creativity, but yet keep everything grounded and logical on an even plane. It's very, I don't know, it's very weird to me. I don't necessarily get it myself. I'm glad it allows me to think outside of the box 100% of the time. And somewhere between 95 and 99%, I'm usually right. Just because of the crazy outside thinking that I get. Gotta love that childlike wonder once you're able to recapture it, you know? And just like stranglehold that shit, right? But no, I brought this one up, oh god, weeks ago, months, 2 months, I don't know. It's been a little bit, because I took a break. I like taking breaks. Consistency is nice. It helps reform habits, but this really gets exhausting after a while. I'll be honest. Like, it gets completely exhausting. Anyway, So we talked about a while ago now. Hi, Bob. Are you ready to be center of attention now? You're like, no, just pet me. We talked about the many worlds theory. I myself actually said that I personally believe in this for no other fact than I would need more than two hands to count how many Mandela effects that I can personally say that I remember, right? Hold on. Getting text. Anyways. You know, whether it's like Berenstein Bears instead of Berenstain Bears, whether it be, you know, Brittany and the little Mike and there is one that not a lot of people bring up. There was I think it was China that it happened. Like, it was a guy running out to get run over by a tank or something like that. I don't know. It's like I can sit down and visibly count on more than two hands the instances that I remember since this whole thing started. And if we are to believe this, right? If we are to believe this, it means as soon as CERN opened with their collider and they've been smashing particles together at near light speed since it opened every second, so they can tear open the fabric of reality and reach through it and send something through or bring something back, right? You guys remember this now? I hope so. I postulated, how many times have we slid through different dimensions and didn't even recognize it? Because most of the time, the differences are minuscule. Like, you have to get thousands and thousands, possibly millions of worlds away before you see anything that would actually stand out to you of like, okay, am I still in reality now? That kind of thing. But like different color skin and shit like that, even though that would probably never happen. But like, these differences are so minuscule that you might never even notice it, because it might just be one tiny little thing that's off. But it might have happened to your mom or your grandma, and it wasn't enough to change her whole personality, change their whole foundation, stuff like that. And since then, my mind has not let this go. Like, if this is true, again, like, we're hypothesizing here. Hypothesis. Do I believe it? Yes, because there's a lot of circumstantial evidence. And just like in court, in the face of lack of facts, if you have a heavy load of circumstantial evidence, 2 and 2 usually equals 4. I mean, I think we can all agree on that. So, I hate that I can't let, like, I know you guys don't care, but, like, I hate that I can't let this go. So every second they have been smashing particles together. Every second they've been ripping open the fabric of reality. Every second they've been trying to reach through that rip. How many worlds have we gone through? Have I ever been back to my original reality? You know, because supposedly this started happening supposedly before I had any of my kids. So we're talking like early 20s, right? I'm talking early 2000s. Have we ever been back? Like, what was the reality that I love most? Honestly, because it's not like we can sit down and pinpoint where we're at. I mean, and then there's all the other ones that go along with the many worlds theory of, you know, there are millions, billions, trillions, infinite amount of Earths, because the only thing that keeps us from crashing in, and I've brought this up before, this is the basis of the universe we live in. It's energy, frequency, and vibration. The only thing that makes it possible for these infinite amount of Earths to exist is everything is on a different energy, frequency, and vibration. And you adjusting your energy, frequency, and vibration can send you shooting off to somewhere you've never been, somewhere that looks familiar but is not, right? This looks like my life, it feels like my life, but it's not my life. That type of shit, right? But I know there have to have been scientists that just like drove themselves crazy with this question. Like, since CERN opened, what, over 20 years ago, almost 20 years ago, what have you, where have we ended up? How long do we have left? How many more Mandela effects are going to start popping up? Especially at an escalated rate, given they've only been trying to collide them faster and faster at different intervals, different variables, different, you know, adjusting it here and there, but essentially keeping it the same to produce the same result, just trying to widen that crack. And if it's based off of energy, frequency, and vibration, how long before they rip that hole open and it not just pieces go swapping through? What happens when a whole other universe comes through, colliding with ours? I know I'm getting a little comic booky here, but I mean, it is theoretically possible. Let's establish that for anybody that understands what I'm talking about. Like, because there would be by us ripping it open, we are inviting it through, even though the laws of physics say it. You know, alchemy says law of equivalent exchange, one for one. For everything given, something must be taken. But at what rate is that dictated? Because it's always possible for you to phase out of existence into another existence. There's been multiple stories across the internet of that, besides Mandela effects and everything else, for decades. And these are stories by people that never look to gain anything off of it other than them trying to figure out where the hell they were. So what happens when that because by the laws of science, right? If we are opening that door, it is not us that would get sucked in through there. It would be their universe getting sucked into us. That would be what you would call a convergence point, right? And science would tell you that it's whichever universe is denser that survives. I'm not a nihilist, but I kind of... That's kind of like a rose-colored glasses look at it. Because my mind is so creative. I would probably, closer to the fact, probably agree with Jonathan Hickman. If you guys don't know who Jonathan Hickman is, he is a really good comic book writer. Avengers Doomsday and Secret Wars is based off of his limited series run back in, what was it, 2015, 2016? Secret Wars, where Doctor Doom became God Emperor Doom, right? Little rip-off of Frank Herbert there. I wonder if they had to reach out and get permission to use that. But in that limited series, he didn't have one universe winning over the other. Like, literally, he hypothesized, I guess, if you would want to call it that it would just completely destroy both universes. For anybody who likes Van Damme, early 90s Time Cop, same object cannot occupy the same space at the same time. They would both molecularly fall apart, right? I tend to lean more into that camp. Like, you stupid fucks are literally playing God, and you are literally rolling the dice every second since you turn that bitch on, and you are knowingly willing to attempt to destroy us all just to see what you can prove. Y'all the biggest narcissists in the fucking world. Like, you guys need to get your heads checked. Like, if somebody told me, like, you could rip open the fabric of reality, reach through and touch another universe, but there was even a minuscule chance that you destroy all of reality all at once just by doing that, yeah, we're going to keep that switch the fuck off. We are going to keep that switch the fuck off. Because regardless of the shit that's happened in my life, regardless of how fucked up it's gotten, I enjoy being alive. And minus the, we'll call it depressed era, thank God it's over now. Like, I've always enjoyed being alive. Like I had to teach myself to walk. I had to teach myself to embrace all the things that you guys take for granted every second of your damn life. Like, why wouldn't I want to be alive? Why wouldn't I want to continue to press forward? Why wouldn't I want to stop and smell the roses every time I fucking got a chance? Eat a great plate of food, sleep with a beautiful woman. Like, who wouldn't want to embrace? Anyways, there are a lot of people that don't want to embrace life. You are the people that I'm talking about. Like, you've taken your life for granted and the things that you can do for granted so much. You don't realize that there are people out there that literally struggle their entire lives just to try to walk. And you want to think your life is worthless? You got nothing going for you? You're not in a fucking wheelchair like I used to be, and a lot of people like me still are. Like, you guys really don't understand. You don't know how to seize the fucking day. There, I said it. Let's get back on point, because I'm swerving right now. No, not drunk, just thought-wise. I just went off on a tangent. That's what I'm talking about. Fuck you if you thought otherwise. But yeah, if you are literally willing to kill 7 billion people on the planet just to say that you understand a little bit more about the reality that we live in. And all of these things, different hitchhikers showing up here, or are people going there and apologies, I came out of nowhere. I was trying to fight. Still am. Hold on. Not an endorsement, but I do love it. Like, you're willing to put, and by all accounts, you got to assume there's 7 billion people on the other side of whatever universe you're ripping a hole into. Like, you're willing to put, we'll just, for good measure, we'll just say that. So you're putting 14 billion souls at risk. And that's not even counting if aliens are real. Which I'm still, because of so many psyops and government reports and everything else coming out, no, I don't believe it. Like, there are, can't even really say any of them because they never, I don't know if they ever, was the stuff that the guy that I know that he worked on never came to fruition except for I better not be getting sick. The guy that I know that worked on stuff, like all of his classified projects, they got tested and stuff like that, but they never got actively used, except for maybe one. But I've never seen an object reported that looks anything like what he described to me. So I don't know. Maybe it was his competitors that won out in the end. But I'm inclined to think that aliens don't exist. Like, all all the spacecraft that you see, all the bullshit, they're all government projects that DARPA's been working on through Lockheed or Northrop Grumman, shit like that. Like, going back to at least the 50s, because my great grandmother was the assistant to the drafter on the SR-71. Like her friend, the in-shop photographer. Anytime they had to do a piece on whatever they were working on, he was the one that was sent out to Roswell, and then came back with it. And he was also the one that took the pictures of them getting rolled into the hangar out at, I think it was out at George, like right out here. Might have been Edwards, but I think it was George, if I remember correctly. So I don't necessarily believe that they are aliens. I think that it's like, because don't forget, the technology that you get introduced to today, they were using for military application up to 50 years ago. Cellular technology, all of that. I mean, look around your house. 99% of the technology in your house was used as a military weapon that they found civilian use for. I mean, your microwave. Your microwave. Yours. Was literally used to flash fry people. Literally. I think as far back as the Korean War. Was it Korea or Vietnam? One of the two. But literally. Then you get all this stuff. Self-driving autonomous cars and drones. This shit had military application up to 20 years ago, if not more. And you're just getting to play with them now. Like, don't feel special, feel insulted. Like, why couldn't I play with it then? But these fuckers, more than anyone else, right? More than anyone else. Like, how fucking dare you? That means you flipped it on in, what, early 2000s? Going into the 2010s? Whenever that was. And you've literally been rolling the dice on our fucking lives since. Like, we're lucky. We're lucky we're still around. But then again, there are a lot of theories that get brought up because of that. Well, is it possible that the people that remember these Mandela effects, is it possible they came, you, me, everybody that can remember this shit? Because the main one is Berenstain Bears. I don't give a fuck who you are. It was never Berenstain Bears, it was Berenstain Bears. I can remember that from when I was a fucking kid. Like, everybody said that. It's just... So, if they did destroy that reality, that means our consciousnesses, for those of us that remember different times. There's also a scientific explanation to that too. Like, you're remembering things wrong, and your brain is telling you it's like blah 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 blah. This is a hypothesis. We're not going off that, right? So we're going off the hypothesis. So we got pushed into a different reality, basically. The consciousness inhabits new form, which would make sense because it would literally find a way to push you into a compatible universe that vibrated as closely as possible to you. And then you would acclimate to that, and then if something happened to that one, they could push you down more, blah, 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 on to the next one, right? So could it be, I'm not saying it is, this is hypothesis time, right? Could it be that all these, what reasonable thinking people call crackpot theories, and you guys know I love Star Wars now, so could they all be true from a certain point of view? And it might not be the point of view that you or I might think of. It might be a more practical application of it. Something like I brought up in the beginning. Like we wouldn't even notice, right? You know, it could be something as extreme as, you know, in this reality, Dustin has cerebral palsy. In another one, I'm just missing an eye, and that's my disability. The only thing that physics says is that I will be disabled across the spectrum, but it doesn't say that it'll be just the CP. That tells me that if it's true, that I've only gone through the universes in which I still have CP. Because I haven't woken up a day in my life and had something else wrong with me, just the CP. So that means we haven't gotten that far out of it, if it's true. Again, I like to get creative, but I like to stay logical about everything. But I can't get over this thought that these motherfuckers are willing to play Russian roulette with us every second we exist. It, to a lesser degree, it's literally Fringe. Who remembers that show? I mean, I wouldn't say it's as far as like you know, Dr. Bell jumping through to another reality and suddenly the Statue of Liberty bronze or some shit like that. But it's very scary. Like, because I've explained, like, we live in a realm of existence that's based off of energy, frequency, and vibration. You have these three coming in to hit each other, and in that center, that little minuscule center point where everything touches, there we go, right there, right, like, right, see that little opening between, here, let me move that, right there we go. See that little point there where all three touch? That would be us. Energy's coming in this way, like frequencies coming in this way, vibrations coming in this way, and dead center in that little sweet spot, that's us. We are a cosmic accident. We're a cosmic fucking miracle. And on top of that, you want to rip the fabric of reality open and roll the dice that you are going to literally phase something out of existence and something into our existence. This simple principle, something that Nikola Tesla proved back in the early 1900s, late 1800s. The only reason you know Get out of here. Get out of here. The only reason you know Thomas Edison's name is because Tesla went to the government. The government said, okay, how can we charge people for this? And Tesla was like, charge them for it. You told me we were giving people free power forever. We weren't supposed to charge for this. So they went with Edison. That's why. Tesla was going to give us free energy. Government didn't want that. But literally, these fundamental principles were proven that long ago. Like, when they were discovering AC and DC current. We're talking about that long ago. That these principles were put in place. Like, I don't know, like, why we're a fucking cosmic dice roll as it is. Why would you want to even attempt to destroy yourself? You make no sense. Highly narcissistic motherfuckers. Like, God complex to the max. If you want to think about it. Like, these are the people that we trust to be our foremost authorities on science. Our leaders. The people we trust to keep us safe. And they're not even doing it. They're willing to put your life at risk every second you exist, just to see if they can find something better out there. Think about it. They all want to be running from something right now. Personally, you guys know what I think. And yeah, it's more along the lines of what George Carlin said than anything else. Everybody wants to save the whales, save the snails, and everything in between. But they don't realize that the Earth has been here for billions of years, and it'll be here for billions of years after we're gone. The Earth ain't going anywhere. We are. But climate change is a cheap trick for low IQ people. Do you realize that? That there is no such thing as climate change. Yeah, we can fuck up our climate. We can put holes in the ozone. But the Earth has been proven to fix itself time and time again. What they won't tell you, and if you are smart enough to look up for yourselves, you can see the answer if you have the balls to. Don't give me this sexist shit. Men and women have balls. Go fuck yourselves. But it's the fact that they know we are in a transition point right now. Like, literally, the axis of the Earth has already shifted. Go back, if you guys are not great with your history or your science, go back and look up what happens every time the Earth shifts on its axis. There is always some kind of geologic, oceanic, maybe a little bit of both. You know, there's some upheaval that goes on. Like, one of them turned Pangea into the world that we know now. You know, at one point, billions of years ago, we were all one big supercontinent, believe it or not. And for you creationists, we're more than 6,000 years old. For you flat earthers, y'all need to have your heads checked. But, so it's very weird. What is there a simple way to put this? Hold on. So what you're experiencing right now is literally a double whammy. If you like me, you think it's like Bizarro World and shit like that, you have to take into account that our axis is shifted, right? So the Earth is slowly adjusting. And no, it's not adjusting to get hotter, people. We were in a heating phase. We're going to go into a cooling phase. Luckily, this is stretched out over millions of years, so you and I and everybody else, fingers crossed, won't see any of this shit. I mean, technically, we are in the window right now. We've been in the window for a few years. But according to science, and science I can see. You can prove it to me. It's not like religion or anything else. That's why I have more faith in it than anything else, because you can put it in front of my face and I know what it is. You can toss an apple up in the air and it's going to come down and you can catch it. Hopefully. Depends on your coordination. But it's simple things like that, right? So this cooling phase, we're not going to see, and the axis is going to continue to shift for a couple hundred years. And supposedly it's not supposed to be until like 100 to 200 years from now that those things, like the volcanoes go off, the continents shift again, all this crap, right? Like we've all learned about that. We all saw 2012, right? Supposedly it's not supposed to happen for another 100 or 200 years. But I mean, yeah, it's like this going green and shit like that. It's all bullshit. It's all bullshit. It's a way to keep you busy. It's a way to keep money out of your pocket. It's a way for you to just be a good little sheep, you know? It's one of those things. Everything is a fucking psyop, guys. And no, this is not some tinfoil hat bullshit. I'm not fucking crazy. Go back and look at it. Everything that they implemented and found out in MK Ultra is used against you in every advertisement, every talk show you watch, every movie you go see. Hell, it's in the music. It's literally, the music one's kind of funny. Like, if you guys really want to go down a rabbit hole about how they've shifted music, it's weird. But it's literally in everything. They have literally guided us, the people in charge, to this point. And these are things that started back in, you can provably say, 1913. Possibly earlier than that, but definitely can prove at least 1913, right? If you guys actually looked into this, which I know most of you won't, but if you actually looked into this, you would see. I'm not crazy at all about anything that I said on here. Like I've told you, I like practical things. I like logical things. I like practical application. It's why when you give me religion and you give me hermetics, I'm going to go hermetics every single time, because hermetics is just science with a different fucking name. The law of polarity, the law of equivalent exchange, like the law of correspondence. There are so many things that they put some esoteric name on because like I've said to you guys this whole time, we have this fascination of taking something old and slapping a new name on it to making ourselves feel better. There's nothing that Gen Alpha or Gen Z or Millennials or Zennials or there's nothing new, guys. They just slap a new name on shit to make you feel better about yourself, because if you actually paid attention, we haven't really made a significant discovery in music, movies, anything. Everything was perfected decades ago. And it's just for your fragile little ego, my fragile little ego, all of our fragile little egos, to feel better that we have something to hold on to, when really we have nothing to hold on to. Nothing is new, nothing is discovered, it's just there. And we got to constantly redo the cycle, give everything a new name, blah, 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 blah. Science has been science forever, it's just been called different things. It just depends on how far you go back. It's half the reason why I believe that every myth and legend that we talk about at some point was true. Is there fantastical elements about it? Yeah, there's fantastical elements about everything. Everybody, like, adds on to a story as they pass it on because they want to make it more exciting and blah, 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 blah. But just like I illustrated in the story of Gilgamesh, right? Ziusudra was a real emperor, and he ruled Uruk. And just like Troy, everybody thought Uruk was a myth until they found it. That means Gilgamesh. That means a lot. Just like in, the Iliad and stuff like that, and the Timaeus and the Critias, there are certain things in Plato's works and Homer's works that are true. There's a lot of shit that's not. It's like you writing a fictitious novel, but basing it in the real world, right? Like, if they can go from LA to Washington, crossing the border in Washington in 18 hours. Well, that's not made up. That's real. You can do that. Shit like that, right? But it's just another tangent. Look at that. Whee! But no, seriously, it's been scaring the shit out of me lately. Like, sometimes I regret doing this work to make myself better, because I forgot how out there my creativity can get, knowing that I can take all these little things, right? All these little factoids, all this information that I know across the spectrum of different topics, and have a logical outcome for all this fantastical shit. It's very, like, how many times have they ripped open the fabric of the universe to another universe, and that law of equivalent exchange has swapped this out, because they've done it every second for over 20 years at least. Every second. How many times have I slid sideways? How many times have you slid sideways? Just I don't know. I'm gonna stop and get out of here before I get myself a fucking migraine thinking about this, because I don't know. Damn it, Dustin, why'd you bring this shit up tonight? Why are you even thinking about it at all? Crazy stuff I think about, right? And then it's like, well, can I go back? Can I get back to that universe where I never lost them? I still had all my kids together. I still had my career. Like, can I get back there? Or is that one of the ones that they destroyed? Or is it still out there and I just shifted because they can't stop fiddling with shit, right? Anyways, I hope you guys have a good night. I'll probably be back tomorrow. Not sure. I'm enjoying freedom now. Have a good night.